For the first time in 8 years, the AT&T Champ Car World Series visits Mexico City. A lot has changed around the Autodromo Magdalena Mixhuca, but the atmosphere is as lively as ever. Last time we were here, this track was more renowned for its lightning quick and flowing corners. Almost completely different to what we see today. Sharper corners in a tight stadium complex to the Foro Sol Stadium have put an emphasis on car balance. This circuit sits at the second highest altitude on the 2023 calendar. It boasts incredible top speeds, but it requires a brake balance and handling that can match it. Welcome everyone to Mexico City for the third race of the AT&T Champ Car World Series season. Welcome everyone back from a week break after being in Phillip Island and Motegi the first 2 rounds. And so far it's looked poised to be a 3-team fight between the defending world champions in Cat Devil Racing, as well as Red Bull Highlight Racing and Panasonic Team Impulse. Once more, it's Cat Devil Racing on pole position, but this time it is the defending world champion Kinemitsu Kinoshita on pole, leading a 1-2-3. Sakura Ishibashi sits in second place, with the Hong Kong driver Valerie Fang sitting in third. Once again, Nicole Leckie starts this race in 4th position, ahead of row 3's Artyom Kozlov and the returning Alicia Kovalkiewicz. A lot to kind of go over before we see this race get ready to get underway, so we will jump into it here. Some new faces once again, as we saw last time out at Motegi, but this time for different circumstances. 2 new faces on the field, 1 a returning face, 1 a brand new face. Following an incident at Twin Motegi 2 weeks ago, Isabel Espinoza and Shufan Zhang were ruled out for the season. Isabel Espinoza suffering several vertebral fractures as well as injuries to her collarbone and a concussion. The vertebrae fractures will keep her out for the rest of the season. In her place in Obsidian Racing Team is the 2-time Atlantic Championship champion Bianca Lucero. Lucero will fill in the 88 car for the remainder of the season, beginning here today. Shufan Zhang will be replaced by the 2-time IndyCar World Champion and Andrew Draco. Draco will fill in the number 20 machine for the rest of the season. Draco was initially anticipated to be in the Cherokee GP car that was running one-offs, but that instead will go to a driver that is yet to be announced, as that team now works through its contingency plans here this this season. Again, it's Cat Devil Racing 1-2-3, then Red Bull Highlight Racing in 4th, but it is a pretty wacky grid all throughout, all things considered, with how this race is set to shape up here. We talked about Alicia Kovalkiewicz, her first race back in full-time capacity since 2020, when she was injured at Euro Speedway. Lausitz Ring, she'll start this race from 6th position, a phenomenal starting position for her first race back in almost a full year. Natalia Velicevic, the highest rookie qualifier, will be in row 4 alongside Asada Kito, who has another stellar qualifying position for Obsidian Racing Team. Does that convert into a race finish? We'll find out here across this 51-lap event. Evangeline Porter and Simone LaRoad make up the top 10. Keisha Fox just outside of that alongside BK Glover. BK Glover sitting just inside the top 5 in points, in second place in points to be precise there. Asher Crane and Cameron Jackson sit in row 7. Then Shinichi Kamayan and Natalia Kurachenko in row 8. Andrew Draco, Esther Hofson, Elise Alexander, and Mateus Michelin round out the top 10. So a pretty heavy hitting top 20 there. Then you see most of the rookies are located here in the bottom 8. Yuya Ishii missed Motegi 2 weeks ago. Sits in row 11 this time alongside the debuting Bianca Lucero. Marcus Petrovic and Rachel Wojcik in row 12. Thomas Rogers and Wyatt Jones in row 13. Anastasius von Sonnen and David Wessel round out the field of 28 cars for this race. Again, we've not been here in 8 years, and a lot has changed. We're bringing the soft compound tire, the red wall tires you see on these cars here, as they are stationary, getting ready for the command to fire engines. It means tire stops will be the way to go. Start your engines! And there's the command to fire engines here at the Autodromo Magdalena Mixhuca. Again, Reigning world champion Kimi Kinoshita on the pole position alongside Sakura Ishibashi, who has been on the front row all 3 races to kick off this season. Do these positions convert to race wins? We will find out. Kinoshita won Motegi. Nicole Lechty won Phillip Island to kick off the season. Both of them in the top 4. Juggernauts littered throughout the top 15. Gone is the Peraltada that we saw this time 8 years ago. And is the Foro Sol Stadium. A converted baseball stadium that will host the final complex of corners here. One of the longest straightaways on a road course around the world. The pace car pulls into pit lane. And it's a long run towards the start-finish line here at Mexico City. Located right in the capital city of Mexico. Green flag is in the air. And the Telcel Grand Prix of Mexico City is underway. Lightning start for the top 6. But it is not so clean further back. Everyone trying to make their way through these opening corners. Little bit of contact there. And that is, I believe, Lechty and Velicevic. It is. Overall, relatively unscathed. That could have been a lot worse. Low-speed corner allows a little bit of forgiveness in that. As they approach the second sector, very narrow and tight corners. Again, requires a lot of balance. A lot of give and take on the US opening lap. Again, looking throughout the field. Tight and narrow corners gone. And replacing the sweeping corners we saw back in 2016 when Alan Herrera won this race at home. Looking at David Russell sideways. The 50 cars, they step out on cold tires early. Keisha Fox dropping back big time, I believe. No, I believe that is actually the 96 of Alicia Kovacevic. Trouble for the 96 car. Dropping back from 6th on the starting grid. Up at the front, Kenosha's pulled ahead of Feng and Ishibashi. But a green first lap. You see, that was Kovacevic entering pit lane for a mechanical issue of some sort. We'll see if that is a terminal failure. What a turn of events for Nicole Lechty from 4th place on the grid all the way down, and that's a car spinning and locked up tires for Kurachenko, who had to force a evading action from Velicevic, another car off wide, and that is Nicole Lechty, the 78 with issues again. So, and no, that's Leroux. Leroux struggling big time. So Leroux went off, I believe, just about ahead of Kurachenko. Drivers out braking themselves early on here in Mexico City. Cars stepping out sideways, trying to find the balance of the grip in those Firestone tires. Hobson runs wide. Oh, contact between Jones and Lechty. And these drivers, especially at the back of the field, pushing to try to find the limits. There's Bianca Lucero. There's Kovacevic back out on track. Valerie Fang sitting in second place. Ishibashi in third. Fourth place now. That's where you'll find Artyom Kozlov. Keisha Fox up in fifth. Sixth place, Evangeline Porter. Seventh place, Astrid Crane. Through the opening couple laps. Andrew Draco, two-time world champion, running back in full-time competition, sitting in the top 10, 8th place in that number 20 machine. Ninth place for Elise Alexander and Shinichi Kamaya, sitting in the top 10 at the moment. Yuya Ishii, after failing to qualify, that number 44 car for Yandrian Motorsports, sits in 11th place. Then it's Thomas Rogers moving up through the field. Anastasius von Sonnen as well as they run through the Foro Sol section. Then is Mateus Michelin, Cameron Jackson, the 86 of Asada Quito, David Wessel, Rachel Wojcik, Marcus Petrovich, and BK Glover sitting in the top 20. Looking down the order, all 28 cars still running. Kovalkiewicz having to make an early pit stop. I believe it may have actually been a tire puncture, a tire delamination there for the 96 car. That threw that car off the running order early. Kurachenko now at the bottom of the field. We saw her lock up actually and run wide in turn one. And now you see a couple of rookies here battling for the 25th spot. Lucero ahead of Velicevic. And Velissa's trying to go around the outside here. Switchback section, and it will work in the Slovenian driver's favor. Velicevic up to the 25th spot. And you saw there was Kurachenko, there the Alienware number 84. And there is Kovalkiewicz. Running through Foro Sol now, the race leader and the reigning world champion, Kimi Kinoshita. And Cat Devil Racing right now putting on a pretty phenomenal start here. 4 laps in, and those cars still sitting 1, 2, and 3. Artyom Kozlov sitting best of the rest. That Panasonic Team Impulse car already almost 5 seconds adrift of the race leader. Evangeline Porter trying to battle there with Keisha Fox for the top 5. Alpine versus Chevrolet in that battle, as well as another Alpine. No, that's never mind. It's a Honda car. That's Astrid Crane and the Cognizant number 80. Andrew Draco there in 8th place, filling in for Shufin Zhang. Already making his way forward in today's race. 55-lap race here this evening. This is expected to be a 3-stop race. Pit stop's expected about lap 15-ish, lap 15 to lap 17. We'll see if drivers can spread that fuel out. Again, we talk about altitude here in Mexico City. It is the second highest altitude track next to that of Denver Motorsports Park, which we'll see later in the season. All of these engines are turbocharged. With those turbos, need air to breathe, and oxygen thins out the higher up you go. Puts a bigger strain on engines as a result of this. Mexico City typically renowned around the racing sphere as a track where you will suffer engine burnout, and typically attrition races or how Mexico City events typically go. We saw that back in 2016, and obviously with these engines now running a lot tighter confine in the regulations, we could see engines fail out pretty quickly in this race, depending on how tightly these engines are running. A mixture of V8s, V6s, and inline 4s. All of them turbocharged, some of them twin turbocharged. could make life difficult. The twin turbocharged engines, however, right now lead the way 1, 2, and 3. With Honda running all of those cars. Another inline 4, but this time Toyota in 4th. With Artyom Kozlov. Looking at Elise Alexander in 9th place ahead of Shinichi Kamaya. You see all those cars running out wide. You see the skid marks of drivers just skating a little bit too slidey through that section. Everyone trying to find the very edge of grip. Drivers only had one practice session for this race, and so much has changed that the drivers in this series, even though they've been to this track before, some of them have been, they've not been to this configuration of the track. So everyone kind of came in with a pretty blank slate. And you obviously you have to spend a lot of time in that 2-hour session working on a qualifying setup and trying to get that car dialed in for qualifying runs. We're beginning to figure out who put more time into qualifying and who's got a race car underneath them early on in this race. Drivers such as Draco using their veteran experience to move up in the field. As you look outside the top 10, this is Rachel Wojcik, who is sitting in the 18th position, gaining spots early on due to the melee up near the front of the field. The unfortunate incident between Natalia Vulicevic and Nicole Lechty helping gain the Canadian driver 2 spots. Esther Hofson sitting in the 19th position, gained a spot there this lap over Marcus Petrovic, who now sits right behind them. Petrovic in 20th. Again, his teammate Kage Kobayashi failing to qualify. Not a great start for that 42 car, missing 2 of the first 3 races. There's Glover once again struggling to get the tires where they need to be on this opening stanza. A little bit of damage there on the 25 of Wyatt Jones, who we saw go really toe-to-toe with that 13 car of Natalia Vulicevic early on. There's Bianca Lucero, who's being left behind. Natalia Kurachenko sitting in the 84 car. There is Alicia Kovalkiewicz, who has gotten ahead of the 78, and Nicole Lechty now sitting in last place and about to go a lap down in this race. Simona Leroux already out of this race, so both the Rebel Highlight Racing cars in trouble early on in this contest. Bianca Lucero sitting as the lowest placed rookie at the moment. Definitely trying to make the most of the opportunity at the moment as it stands. So, Nicole Lechty, the points leader, in danger of going a lap down. Not a good start for that car. Lost a lot of points significantly at Motegi 2 weeks ago. And Kini Kinoshita looking to go 2 in a row after DNFing early on at Phillip Island to kick off the season. Kenosha in her element. 2.3 seconds ahead of her teammate. Valerie Fang is kind of racing sits 1, 2, and 3 here at the top of the standings. Artyom Kozlov on an island at the moment. And then you see Keisha Fox still ahead of Evangeline Porter and Astra Crane. Everyone trying to get these tires to wear, but also everyone's still learning this track pretty much. Alexander staying ahead of Kamaya, and there's Thomas Rogers, who's trying to make some inroads here to get into the top 10. That Reese's number 2 machine sitting in 11th at the moment. Keisha Fox sitting in the 5th position. One of the highest up-running battles at the moment. Kind of browse throughout the field here. There's Andrew Draco closing in on this battle as well. Draco sitting in the 8th position, not far away. Thomas Rogers trying to draft his way into that range. And it's going to be a struggle right now for those Toyotas and those Hondas. The Chevrolet has the best engine power and obviously the largest capacity there, the V8 engines. That 11 car is going to have a lot of top speed. So that drag race is going to be especially difficult to win, especially even with draft here. Obviously, if the aero balance isn't quite correct, then it could be a significant challenge here. And you see that with Alexander just pulling away so much. They'll gain back a little bit here in this draft, but Alexander, right engine behind that 11 car at the moment to keep that car in the top 10 at the moment. And that's exactly what Alexander needs after a rough start to the season. Sitting in the 12th position, Yuya Ishii, ahead of Anastasius von Sonnen and Matthias Michelin. Rachel Wojcik moving forward here. So is BK Glover. Glover's up 2 spots now, up to 18th ahead of Asada Kito, with Matthew Evans now, not Matthew Evans, that is David Wessel in 20th place. Cameron Jackson in 21st, Wyatt Jones in 22nd, 23rd and 24th. That battle between 2 rookies there, Lucero and Vlisevich. And this is where it gets interesting there. There's Nicole Lechty ahead of the race leader. Kenosha sitting in the race lead, trying to get around that 78 car. And this could throw Kenosha right back into her teammate's path if she can't find a way around that 78 car. Running at the moment. Kenosha gonna look at it going into the 4 Soul section. Thought better of it. Yeah, she's losing a lot of time behind Lechty at the moment, and that's kind of what Lechty's trying to do, trying to force a battle between the teammates here. Lechty, again, just trying to stay on the lead lap and force Kenosha into an unpleasant situation across the line. Almost a full second lost. Valerie Fang now just over 2 seconds behind. Was 3 seconds, and so in just a lap, it has changed dramatically. Phenomenal job so far by Nicole Lechty to play that game. Although I feel like that is a game that Lechty ultimately is going to end up losing in this situation. Those Skydiver racing cars look immensely powerful so far. Artem Kozlov, first year with those Toyota engines and Panasonic Team Impulse. See some teething pains as that team tries to hold up to the Kyoto-based squad. A huge rivalry between the two Japanese teams. Skydiver Racing based out of Kyoto, Panasonic Team Impulse based out of Osaka. Really the juggernauts from Japan in the IndyCar World Championship. There's 4 Japanese teams. Yonjian Motorsports and Team Sakura also present, but those are single car teams trying to hold their own. Obviously, teething pains to go with it. Pit stops undergoing for some of the cars that were further back in the field. This will make things interesting. Wojcik was in there, so was, I believe, that's Asada Kito in the 86 car that just filtered out behind the race leader. Indeed, it is Asada Kito. So now Kenosha's in trouble because now there's cars with fresh tires and old cars all around her. And she is losing time to her teammates significantly in this hornet's nest. What does Kito do in this situation? Kito applying pressure to the back of Kinoshita. As they go through 406. Oh, no! On cold tires, Asada Kito runs wide in the baseball section. And now, right under fire of Rachel Wojcik. Drivers losing it under braking. We saw it with Kurachenko, and now we've seen it with Asada Kito. Drivers just out driving themselves here in Mexico City. Newer pavement. Obviously, you see some patchwork done and part of the reconfiguration. Here we go. Kinoshita right in range of her teammates now. All 3 Skydiver racing cars back in range. Lechty working a defensive masterpiece so far. When do the leaders pit, though? We're in that pit window for the first time. This is going to be madness. And again, Kenosha just can't put the power down to get in range to make something happen going down this long straightaway. Running down the front straightaway again. Kenosha just gets close enough to get right to the diffuser. Right to that gearbox of Lechty, but can't really make a lunge. Or at least not safely make a lunge here. Valerie Fang lost a little bit of time. There's Asada Kito back to the tail end of this line. And Rachel Wojcik not far behind. Again, some cars have pit early. You look at Kito, Wojcik, and Kurachenko, who have pit early in that process. Lap 16 at 55 is what we're working right now. And again, Lechty holding up the line the best that she can. Lechty 100% thinking points right now. Kenosha's already won a race this season, won at Motegi. Knowing right now, as things stand, Kenosha would take that points lead pretty handily. You'll see at the bottom of your screen here in just a moment the top 5 in the championship point standings as they were running, entering this race. Lechty, as it stands right now, would score a total of 5 points as more cars come in here. So pit stops ongoing now. Cameron Jackson, one of those cars. I believe that's Petrovic also on that list. Sakura Shibashi trying to get around Cameron Jackson. There's Rachel Wojcik in the mix as well, getting around Asada Kito. So put Wojcik up another spot. Fresh tires, allowing Wojcik to sort of pick off cars one by one in this line. Wojcik trying to get around Ishibashi now. Close. Having to back out of it, not on the optimal line. Going through the S's here on the back part of the track. Sadakito putting pressure on Wojcik. Cameron Jackson almost lost the car there under braking, side by side. Wojcik and Kito. Very close racing between these two. Very close racing still. Wojcik's got the advantage out of the final corner. Both of them Chevrolet-powered cars and very evenly matched. Down into turn 1. Latest of the late breakers. Looks like it's Kito for right now, but Wojcik's going to have the advantage here. It's going to swap back into Kito's favor. Wojcik holding on still. But Kito will have the advantage here. Lechty still holding up the race leader. Frustrating Kenosha. Valerie Fang ahead of Cameron Jackson. A little bit further up the road, there is Marcus Petrovic, who stays on the lead lap, as does David Wessel. There's the 28 Esther Hofson, the 96 of Alicia Kovalkiewicz. A little further back, RDM Kozlov, again, nowhere really to be seen. 9 seconds adrift of the race leader, has not made inroads despite the leader dealing with traffic. Has not been able to make much happen so far in this stanza of the race. We have leaders stay out again. As Kenosha, again, can't make any inroads there on Lechty. Another car coming out of pit lane. I believe that is Shinichi Kamaya. It is Shinichi Kamaya. The Speed and Motorsports driver comes out ahead of Nicole Lechty. Cold tires. You'll have to work through that this lap. Make sure he doesn't make any mistakes and fall behind the race leaders here. But right now on the lead lap still. Thomas Rogers has come down pit lane. There is Bianca Lucero. There's Wyatt Jones, who's not yet pit here. See if Wyatt Jones does come in this time. He is not. As we sort of browse and peruse through the field here. Andrew Draco, the two-time world champion, sitting still in the 8th position, shadowing Astrid Crane. Battle here between teammates. There's Vulicevic hassles her teammate Evangeline Porter and interrupts that battle between Porter and Keisha Fox for the top 5. Oh, that's damage, I think, on the front wing for Rachel Wojcik. Damage for Wojcik here. That is significant front wing damage on the 72 machine. When did that occur? Oh, and around goes Wojcik. Wojcik goes around. What happened to the 72 of Wojcik? Was battling with Asada Kito. This is an interesting little concept here. Again, this is a replay of the lap where Rachel Wojcik apparently had some sort of issue that caused damage to that Fortune racing car. Watching through this last lap to see what happened. Trying to figure out where this damage may have occurred. Keto runs a little bit wide. Does Wojcik get a good run? I'm assuming this damage happens in the 4 Soul section. Keto runs us a little bit wide. Oh, Wojcik tries to get over under. Oh, ooh. Trouble for both Keto and Wojcik. But Wojcik, it looks like, got the worst end of it. And Wojcik coming down pit lane now, as is Keisha Fox and others. The race leaders also come down pit lane, it looks like. Actually, never mind. The race leader has not come down pit lane. Just Valerie Fang. Kenosha still yet to pit. Same with Sakura Ishibashi. Wyatt Jones has gone a lap down, but has repaired his front wing damage. So he's in a better spot right now. Porter with some clean real estate. Now things are completely muddied up here as drivers try to get everything sorted out. Valerie Fang. Actually, no, man, that is Elise Alexander right there behind Cameron Jackson. Oh, trouble for Kamaya. Kamaya ran wide. It looks like almost like a half spin there. Cameron Jackson getting around Shinichi Kamaya. Kamaya was sitting in the 10th spot, still side by side there, a couple Honda cars. Still side by side. That's close still. Kamaya trying to get through and hold on to the position, fighting for it, and he'll hold on to it. Alexander in the mix as well as we browse and peruse through the field. Again, pit stops ongoing there. There's Rachel Wojcik back on track with a repaired front wing. There's Wyatt Jones and then number 25 machine as well. Then you see the 13 car of Natalia Vulicevic. There is Natalia Kurachenko in front of Bianca Lucero and in front of Alicia Kovalkiewicz. Valerie Fang. Looks like last car on the lead lap at the moment. A lot of cars back on the lead lap. Only cars not on the lead lap at the moment, Asada Quito and Rachel Wojcik, who had to come down pit lane to repair damage from that incident a couple laps ago. Teammates here, 1 and 2. Actually, hold on. Actually, Valerie Fang is in the race lead now. So the race leaders did come in. Valerie Fang now in position to become the 85th race winner in the IndyCar World Championship if she can hold on. But we've seen how fast Kenosha has been. Kenosha has the fastest lap of the race so far, a 90.430. She'll need to rely on that to make up time. So Valerie Fang leads this race after the first 22 laps. Kenosha led the first 20. Pit cycle has gone in favor of Valerie Fang, who now has a 5.8 second gap. As the gap decreased, it has by half a second. Kenosha closing in that gap a little bit. Thomas Rogers up to 4th place ahead of Artyom Kozlov. There is Nicole Lecty now firmly 1 lap down. Asada Quito also 1 lap down. Then you see there is the 28 Esther Hofson, who is in 6th position. 7th place for David Wessel, who started this race in the last position. Moved his way up currently to 7th place ahead of Astrid Crane. 9th place, Marcus Petrovich. 10th place, Keisha Fox. Then you have Evangeline Porter in 11th place. Shinichi Kamaya in 12th. Cameron Jackson in 13th. Elise Alexander battling to get ahead of Natalia Velisevich, who is not on the lead lap and battling with a teammate, Matthias Michelin. Anastasius von Sonnen from 27th to 16th as it stands at the moment. Michelin sliding wide and losing a spot there to Anastasius von Sonnen. Yuya Ishii sitting 17th. Andrew Draco down in the 18th position at the moment. But again, a lot of different strategies going on here at this track. There is BK Glover in the 19th position. Wyatt Jones in 20th at the moment as it stands. There's Rachel Wojcik sitting in 27th, last car running as at the moment. 21st is Alicia Kovalkiewicz, excuse me. Bianca Lucera there in 23rd, 22nd, excuse me. And there is Valerie Fang, who has lapped Natalia Kurachenko. Teammates battling here for 4th place. Thomas Rogers in the 2, Kozlov in the 3. Not a bad points day so far for the Panasonic Team Impulse cars. This is at 4th and 5th. But still, really no genuine response for the Cat Devil Racing cars as they go side by side through Sector 2. Kozlov wants that 4th spot. Trying to get it. And now Rogers holding Kozlov at bay. Kenosha significantly cut that gap down as Valerie Fang deals with Bianca Lucero. Gap's down to 3 seconds. Kenosha in 2nd place, trying to reel in her teammate. Sakura Ishibashi there in 3rd. See Kurachenko now a lap down firmly. Team Impulse battle here for 4th place. Kozlov ran a little bit wide there in turn number 3. And now we're in a threat from Nicole Lechty. Esther Hobson in 6th place, a very distant 6th place. Then the battle for 7th between David Wessel and Astrid Crane. Wessel and Crane battling for the 7th spot. Interesting battle here for the top 10 between Petrovic, Porter, and Fox. Keisha Fox having a decent run of form going here, trying to look for a 3rd consecutive top 10 finish to kick off the season. Keisha Fox this weekend said that this team was missing just a little bit, but was making the most of its consistent form that posed a huger threat. And so far, that's still going on. 11th place right now for Keisha Fox. A 62 car proven to be an anchor for the Cherokee GP squad here this season. Battling between Petrovic and Porter. Fonte Racing and Atomic Autosports, Serbia versus Slovenia. Petrovic holding on to that 9th place at the moment, but it's crowded here in this battle for the top 10 as here comes Shinichi Kamaya. Cameron Jackson behind that, dealing with the lap down Natalia Velisevic, and Anastasius von Sonen just behind, looking to get another spot. Battle there between Andrew Draco and BK Glover. Draco to the inside of Glover. Really good battle here between drivers that have raced each other for several years now. Glover got the defensive end of that and successfully defended that position. Looking a little bit further up, Keisha Fox got around Evangeline Porter, and now Fox really deep on the brakes there, the 62 car. A lot more confident into turn 1. Runs it a little bit wide, though, in that battle there. And now into threat once again for Porter. Battle here, a very tight battle between Porter and Fox. Pretty electric stuff so far. Kamaya now firmly in this battle as well. Porter once again in the top 10, chasing down Marcus Petrovic. And all these drivers are really catching up to David Wessel in the 50 and Asher Crane in the 80. So this could be really a 7-car battle here for the bottom half of the top 10. Porter defending from Keisha Fox as we hit lap 30. There's 62 of Keisha Fox there. There's the 8 of Shinichi Kamaya. A little bit further back, Cameron Jackson not far away. Keisha Fox looking to make an inroads here on that top 10 battle. No time to breathe. If you're the 81 and the 62. As they continue to slug it out there for the top 10 spot. Crane's been struggling there behind David Wessel, who comes down pit lane, and now Crane's been released, but how much damage has been done to those tires? It is not going to be pleasant there for that 80 car. Lost a full second to this group here. Oh! Porter too deep on the brakes there in turn 1. Tries to defend from Keisha Fox. These drivers all over the place under braking here. They are putting everything into it tonight. There's Artyom Kozlov sitting and losing time to her teammate. There's David Wessel leaving pit lane. And here's the battle for the race lead between Valerie Fang and Kuni Kinoshita. This has been a wild battle as Kenosha tries to get back to the race lead, has to go through her teammate to do so. There is Alicia Kovalkiewicz just ahead of the race leaders at the moment. Not the race that she wanted to return to. After qualifying in 6th place, it has been everything but ordinary for the 96 crew for Cherokee GP. Valerie Fang holding on to the race lead, less than a second. Last time by, what does it look like this time? With Kenosha coming in close. Across the line that time. Did the gap improve or decrease? It stayed stagnant at 0.8. Especially with lap traffic up ahead. Do they play a factor in this battle? Looks like Kenosha a lot better under braking. Valerie Fang leads the way. But that gap is, just using the eyeball test, that gap has decreased significantly. Seems like Valerie Fang really makes the most out of that 4-0 Seoul Stadium section. To really open that gap right back up. The gap looks like it'll still be reduced here. But not, maybe not. Maybe it stays down at 0.8 of a second. Sakura Shibashi seems a very distant third at the moment. 10 seconds adrift. Kozlov's gotten around Thomas Rogers in this process. Oh, car wide. That was Crane, I believe. It was Crane attacking Esther Hobson. Petrovich does open up a little bit of a gap there for Keisha Fox. I believe Anthony Porter has taken a pit stop here. So now it's Fox attacking Petrovich here for the 8th position as it stands. Wow, Keisha Fox sending really hard there under braking, trying to get around that 21 car still. As Astra Crane's gotten around the 28 of Esther Hobson, Crane moves up to 5th. Astra Crane in the top 5 here ahead of Esther Hobson. Lap traffic in the way for both Fang and Kenosha, and it's helped Fang out a little bit. With Kovalkiewicz now between the two of them. Fang trying to find her way around the 25 of Wyatt Jones. Been caution-free the first 35 laps of this race. Oh, Fang went wide. Valerie Fang went wide. A little too deep under the braking there, entering the stadium section, and now teammates will be side by side. Almost contact between the two. Very close quarters racing through the Foro Sol. And the gap 100% has shrunk now. Who will be late under the braking? Does CUNY apply the ultimate pressure to her teammate? Fang it to the inside. Contact. Wessel just got to the back of Kenoshita. Oh, and Wessel sends Kenoshita into the wall. Oh, dear. Kenosha will not be thrilled with David Wessel on that one. Valerie Fang trying to make a pass there on Kovalkiewicz. Again, lap traffic has slowed up Valerie Fang significantly. It's pulled both of her teammates back into it. Whoa! As Kovalkiewicz got sideways, got contact by Valerie Fang. Drivers putting elbows out here in Mexico City with less than 20 to go. Come in at 19 laps to go. Wow. And now Wessel behind the race leader. It's Kenoshita looking to get back to that gearbox at 50, and it will not be pleasant when she does. Wessel hassling the race leaders, trying to find a way around. Oh, this could be close. Wessel trying to find a way through. They're going to be side by side, entering one of the hardest parts of the track here. Keep an eye on Ishibashi, trying to get around Kenoshita. Gloves are off. Kenoshita runs wide. Does Ishibashi have a chance? Still side by side. Teammates there going through Foro Sol. Ishibashi backs out. Trouble. Jones and Wessel. No caution. But right in front of the race leaders, Wyatt Jones got turned by David Wessel. And David Wessel's spewing engine oil. Oh dear. Wyatt Jones still rolling. But David Wessel trying to aggressively drive through the field has driven into a wall in the Foro Sol Stadium section. And as he makes the solitary limp back around to pit lane, his race will come to a close. Kovalkiewicz getting around Wojcik. There's Andrew Draco, who's fallen off a little bit as this race has progressed. First race back in almost a year. One of the most physical races on the calendar. The low altitude, or the high altitude, low oxygen air system. Takes a lot of adjustment, especially if you're not into it. And for Draco, a late call up, putting him under duress. Isha Fox coming down pit lane. So will Von Sonnen and Alexander. Yuya Ishii stays out. There is Valerie Fang. Then it's Sakura Ishibashi. There's Esther Hofson, who is not on the lead lap. Wyatt Jones comes down pit lane, as will Kuni Kinoshita. Valerie Fang holding on to the race lead now by 2.5 seconds over Sakura Ishibashi. Cars coming in and out of pit lane here. Different strategy sequences here going on. Von Sonnen leaves pit lane. Kenosha in her pit box right now, I believe undergoing damage repairs. So a chance at a race win has escaped the defending world champion, Kozlov in. Wyatt Jones leaving pit lane. So will Kenosha. Leaders come in. Fang and Ishibashi. So where does everyone cycle out here? A lot of cars going to get a lap back as this runs. Pit stops ongoing here. Ishibashi's going to get out before Fang. An issue with Valerie Fang's pit stop. Sakura Ishibashi leaves pit lane and takes the race lead. Valerie Fang in trouble. Still on pit lane and will lose time to Kenosha, who comes out of pit lane. So Kenosha takes over second place. Valerie Fang sitting with a race win in grasp. Now on pit lane with some sort of mechanical issue. Something severely problematic in the 16 camp. Has put Sakura Ishibashi in the catbird seat. Coming to 15 laps to go. Valerie Fang still on pit lane, losing time. Still on pit lane and losing a lot of time. Something catastrophic has happened to that number 16 car. A chance at a race win for the first time has been dashed. And Fang will go a lap down to her teammate here. Ishibashi. 15 laps to go. Can she hold on and take a victory here? Her first for Cat Nova Racing. Lisevich and Jones ahead of Kenosha here. Kenosha sitting in second place. Trying to find a way around the three-time NAMRA Cup Series champion. There's Esther Hobson, sitting in the top 5 at the moment. Astra Crane getting around Rachel Wojcik. Trying to chase down Hobson for the top 5. Theus Michelin. Then you have Shinichika Maya. Then you have, I believe you'll find that is the 21 of Marcus Petrovic. Then the 19 of Cameron Jackson, the 81 of Evangeline Porter, then BK Glover, who came out of pit lane a lap ago. Down in 12th position ahead of Keisha Fox. And there's Alicia Kolokamich with a decent recovery back up to 14th. Andrew Draco in his first race back. Coming to grips with the physicality of Mexico City Circuit. Sitting in 15th place ahead of Yuya Ishii. Then I believe you have, that is Anastasia Sponsonen. Elise Alexander, last car on the lead lap, and there's your race leader, Sakura Ishibashi. Again, Ishibashi sitting poised at a potential first win. 2 races are over. Now Simona Leroux and David Wessel. "26 cars still running. Ishibashi right to the back of Alexander. The process of going through and lapping cars begins again. 16 seconds to gap. Ishibashi can take her time. Finally, work being done on Valerie Fang's machine. Whatever the issue was, they've got it repaired now. And getting ready to send that 16 car back out. But at this point, a lot of damage already done. They've changed tires on that 16 crew. And away she goes. Let's switch down pit lane. Battle between Petrovic and Kamaya. Speed Demon versus Vanta Racing versus Dragon Motorsports there with Cameron Jackson in 10th. This has been a classic brawl race, if we've ever seen it. Ishibashi taking her time, still gaining time over Kinoshita. Kinoshita stuck behind Wyatt Jones at the moment. Wyatt Jones, his first road course in Champ Car competition. Some growing pains for that 25 crew. Just trying to find a way around. I think Ishibashi trying to just take it easy here. Backed off a lot from that group of lap down cars. So she's figured that she's got that time to spend, and she knows that Kenosha's not gotten the clear of Wyatt Jones yet. She can take it easy. Not a bad call to make coming to 11 laps to go. You're looking for your first win of the season. And your first win with Cat Devil Racing. Whoa, Ishii slid it out sideways there in Foro Soul. Andrew Draco going for a little bit of a ride. There is the 96 of Kovalkiewicz behind her teammate there and Keisha Fox. Try to get around Glover there. 6 car. That Mobile 1 machine. Huge battle in the top 10. Really, look down from it. It's 8th all the way down in this group right now. Ten laps to go in this race. Again, main battle here is this battle in the fringe of the top 10 from 8th place on down. Kamaya in 8th place, being the logjam so far. Velisevich sitting a little bit further up ahead has really kind of pulled away a little bit from Kamaya. Porter looking to the inside of the 21 of Petrovic and runs wide into Forosol. And Glover gets that position. Oh, Kovalkiewicz attacking Cameron Jackson. Wow, side by side through Peraltada. Wow. Still side by side, Honda versus Alpine. And the V6 engine's got the juice. Late braking into turn 1. Oh, car around, that's Glover. Glover's run wide, Jackson's run wide. Glover spun out. Wow, he's got to make all that time back up. Kovalkiewicz just mugging positions there. Got around Fox and then got around Jackson. There goes Draco going around his teammate there, trying to, despite the frustration there and the dehydration for the 20 camp. And there's Glover right back in it, side by side with Draco. That's close to the S's. Glover right back into it. Trying to make some inroads here. Goodness! What a battle. Porter getting frustrated behind the 21 of Petrovic. There's the 96 of Kovalkiewicz. Jackson's lost out to both Cherokee GP cars. Porter sits 10th, Kovalkiewicz 11th, Fox 12th. And Ishibashi's right back to the tail of Alexander. Kinoshita gaining time. 13 seconds adrift of her teammate Ishibashi here in the lead of this race. Right now, as it sits, Thomas Rogers has the third spot on the podium, but it's only a couple seconds. There's Artyom Kozlov. Can Kozlov gain enough time on her teammate to battle for that podium spot? There's Valerie Fang, however, very far off the lead lap in this race. Valerie Fang 2 laps down, same with Rachel Wojcik, and the 13 and Natalia Vulicevic. There's Nicole Lecter, who is firmly 1 lap down as well, sitting in the 21st position as things run. There's Astra Crane, who's gotten around Esther Hobson for the top 5. Matthias Michelinsing in 7th place. A little further back. Trouble! Oh, huge trouble! Wojcik in the wall. Got sent into the wall by Vulicevic. Wow. Aggressive from the rookies. Wojcik's not going to be happy with that. Wojcik getting bullied so far in this race. And you see the damage on that side pod, that left side. Now having a hole in it. There's Keisha Fox, a little bit of damage on it. Gotten ahead of Kovalkiewicz in this process. Draco getting around. That is the 11 of Alexander. Oh, there's part of the problem. Evangeline Porter with an engine problem. And there's contact damage on the 81 machine. Rewinding it, what happens here? Oh, this is going to be an interesting battle. Right behind Petrovic again. Runs wide in turn 1. Looks like this is going to be potential damage there. Oh, yeah, there's where the damage comes in. And another piece of damage there as everyone just kind of piles into it. Again, no caution. And, oh, that's the race leader. That is Ishibashi involved. Oh, this could be problems. And there comes the race leader. The race leader in pit lane. What does this do? Kinosh has already taken the lead. Oh dear. It's deja vu with Motegic from 2 weeks ago all over again. And now the teammates are battling for second place. Kozlov in the 3, Rogers in the orange, Reese's number 2. As they battle for the top 2 spots, and Ishibashi's out. Ishibashi's out of this race. Oh my goodness. Coming to 5 laps to go. This battle for second place is heating up pretty nicely. But wow, has everything shifted. Dramatic turn of events here with 5 to go here in Mexico City. Rogers and Kozlov battling for the second spot. Coming into the 5 to go. They are well adrift of Kinoshita, 21 seconds adrift. Trying to get around, that is Kamaya. There's Valerie Fang putting her nose into it, and this is nightmare fuel for Kozlov. who will send it 3 wide. And we'll think better of it. Oh! Oh! Huge crash! Bang! And Kamaya! Huge crash in Sector 2. No caution. Kamaya's race is over, and that's surely race over for Valerie Fang. Wow. Cameron Jackson sitting down here, and I believe that is 13th place. Yuya Ishii looking for an 11th place finish at the moment, sitting pretty well adrift of Kovalkiewicz and Keisha Fox, who are sitting with 2 top 10s. There's BK Glover back into the 8th position, trying to give Team Impulse a triple top 10 once again. As well as Marcus Petrovic, who's trying to bring home a top 10 for his team, Trevante Racing. There's Valerie Fang finally making it back to pit lane. Evangeline Porter's out of this race, as well as Sakura Ishibashi, Simona Leroux, Shinichi Kamaya, and now Valerie Fang out of this race. It leaves a singular car. Wow! That was Artyom Kozlov putting a send on Thomas Rogers. Wow! They're duking it out here for second place. And Kozlov's gonna get it. For the time being, Rogers trying to fight back and for us all. It won't happen. Kozlov stays clear. Through Peraltada. Kozlov takes second. What a race so far. Three laps to go. Kozlov holds on to the second position at the moment as it stands. Fourth place belongs to Astrid Crane. Fifth place, Esther Hofson. Sixth place, Matthias Michelin. Petrovic ahead of Glover, Fox, and Kovalkiewicz. With Ishii in 11th, Von Sonnen in 12th. Cameron Jackson in 13th, 14th for Elise Alexander, and there is the race leader coming to take 2 laps to go in this race. Shinichi Kamaya out of this race. Same with Sakura Ishibashi, Valerie Fang, Evangeline Porter. Andrew Draco has retired from this race as well. Physicality taking its toll there on the 20 machine. And then David Wessel and the 77 of Simona Leroux also out of this race. 21 cars still running here as we approach the final laps. Rogers trying to get back to that second spot here. Safest positions being in place by Astrid Crane and Esther Hobson because there's no one around them. Glover's gotten around Petrovic. So Glover moves up to 7th place. That will probably be the maximum that Glover can gain with 2 laps to go, coming to 1 lap to go for the race leader. Petrovic trying to stay ahead of the Cherokee GP duo. Ishii with front wing damage. Just holding on for these next couple laps. There is Kinoshita, the race leader. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go here in Mexico City. It is Kuni Kinoshita with a 22-second lead. Wyatt Jones getting around Rachel Wojcik. Almost contact between the 2 rookies. Wojcik trying to find a way around Wyatt Jones, and they get around Wyatt Jones. Tried to stick the nose in through turn 3 and it didn't work. Wojcik kept the car pointing in the right direction. Kozlov ran wide in turn 3 as well, but Thomas Rogers can't capitalize. Kozlov trying to get around Bianca Lucero, who gives very little space down the outside lane. The rookie driver will end up being passed the hard way around by the Russian driver. Kinoshita running through Foro Sol for the last time. Elise Alexander will stay on the lead lap. A little bit of pride at stake there for the 11 car, but for Kuni Kinoshita, it's 2 wins in a row. 18 car in victory lane once again. She wins in Mexico City. Kuni Kinoshita takes the championship lead. Adam Kozlov will bring the car home in 2nd place. A double podium finish for Team Impulse. Thomas Rogers finishes 3rd. Asher Crane will finish 4th place here. And then an even more distant 5th place for Esther Hofson. A quiet race is a successful race for the 28 camp here. Matthias Michelin 6th place, equally quiet for him tonight. BK Glover 7th place, making the most of a wild race for that 6-car camp, was sideways and in the grass at points in this race. Marcus Petrovic holding on to a top 10, a result the team desperately needed. And a double top 10 with Kovalkiewicz getting ahead of Keisha Fox. That team will take a double top 10 finish here in Mexico City. Wounded, but battle tested as they come across the start-finish line. Yui Ishii, an 11th place finish, career best for the Yonjian Motorsports driver. There's Anastasius von Sonnen from 27th to 12th place. 13th and 14th for Cameron Jackson and Elise Alexander. But it's all about Kuni Kinoshita getting 2 wins in a row here in Mexico City, taking over the championship lead. As all the cars run through Foro Sol to go back to Parc Fermé. What a drive. Kuni Kinoshita takes the race win tonight over Artyom Kozlov and Thomas Rogers, who rounds out the podium. Asher Crane 4th. Esther Hofson top 5. Matthias Michelin 6th. 7th for BK Glover. 8th place. Marcus Petrovic, the first top 10 of the season for Avant Terre Racing. Double top 10 for Cherokee GP. Alicia Kovalkiewicz, first top 10 on her return to Champ Car competition. Welcome back, Alicia Kovalkiewicz, and Keisha Fox rounds out the top 10, keeping her top 10 streak going at 3. Further down the order, outside the top 10, you see Yuya Ishii and Astasias Bonsonen, Cameron Jackson, and Elise Alexander, the last cars on the lead lap. Wyatt Jones, the first car, 1 lap down, then the 88 of Bianca Lucero. Nicole Lechty finished in 17th position, then it's Natalia Kurachenko and Asada Kito rounding out the cars, 1 lap down in tonight's race. 20th place belongs to Natalia Vulicevic. With 21st, last car running, Rachel Wojcik, a rough race, as that car was bullied quite a lot tonight, 3 laps down in 21st, but finishing this race ahead of Shinichi Kamaya, Sakura Ishibashi, Valerie Fang, Evangeline Porter, Andrew Draco, David Wessel, and Simona Leroux. Wild racing here tonight in Mexico City, the Autodromo Magdalena, Mixhuca. An amazing and beautiful facility put on a crazy race this evening. In 7 days' time, we'll be back on an oval. We'll be back in the United States at Texas Motor Speedway, the Pennzoil 600. 248 laps, 600 kilometers of racing coming up in just 7 days' time. We hope you join us for it. Kenny Kenosha, race winner for the second time this season, the defending world champion, regains the championship lead after 3 races, heading back to the United States. Everyone else, it's a game of trying to figure out how can we keep up with the Cat Devil Racing gang. On behalf of everyone here for the AT&T Champ Car World Series and everyone here at ABN Studios, I'm Carmen Sienna. Thank you all so much for spending your evening with us here. Stay tuned, because we have more racing coming up in just 7 days' time at Texas. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in Fort Worth.